It was a quiet Thursday morning when microbiologist Dr. Hannah Lyons stood at the edge of a lecture hall, peering at a group of sleepy college students. She was about to deliver a lecture that would, quite literally, change the way her students saw themselves. "How many of you think you're human?" she asked with a sly smile. A few hands slowly rose. Some exchanged glances, unsure what she meant. "Interesting," she said, "because technically, you're outnumbered." Murmurs filled the room. That was the day I first learned that my body had more bacterial cells than human ones. And I've never thought about myself the same way since. It began with a question no one thought to ask. Back in the 1970s, scientists were becoming increasingly interested in what lived on us and inside us. We knew bacteria were everywhere, in the soil, in water, even in our food. But few had realized the staggering complexity of the ecosystems living in our own bodies. At the forefront of this discovery was a researcher named Dr. Carl Woese. He revolutionized microbiology by using genetic sequencing to identify different species of bacteria. It wasn't just that we had bacteria inside us, it was that we were ecosystems. Today, we know the average human body has around 30 trillion human cells and around 39 trillion microbial cells, most of which are bacteria. Let that sink in. You're technically more microbe than man. So where are all these bacteria hiding? They're everywhere. Your gut, your skin, your mouth, your armpits, even inside your ears. In fact, every person has a unique microbiome, a personalized collection of microbial species that act almost like an invisible fingerprint. Your gut alone is home to up to 1,000 species of bacteria, which help digest food, produce vitamins, and even regulate mood. That's right. These tiny organisms may be influencing how you feel. When scientists studied people with depression, they found differences in the gut bacteria compared to people without depression. It turns out the gut and brain are connected by the vagus nerve, and gut bacteria produce many of the same neurotransmitters your brain uses, like serotonin. You might think your moods come from your mind, but what if they come from your microbes? Let me tell you a true story that seems too weird to be real. In 2012, a woman named Emily was suffering from Clostridioides difficile, or C. diff, a bacterial infection that causes extreme, sometimes fatal diarrhea. Antibiotics had failed. She was losing weight rapidly and was near death. Her doctors proposed a last resort treatment, a fecal microbiota transplant. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. They took stool from a healthy donor, her daughter, and inserted it into Emily's colon. Within 2 days, Emily's symptoms disappeared. She was eating again, walking, and eventually went home. How did that work? Because the donor's healthy gut bacteria repopulated Emily's gut, crowding out the dangerous C. diff bacteria. Like a team of good neighbors moving into a rough neighborhood and turning things around. It's not just your gut. Your skin is a battlefield of bacteria fighting to control territory. Let's zoom into your forearm. On the surface, there are colonies of Staphylococcus epidermidis, a generally friendly skin bacteria. But nearby, there's a more dangerous cousin, Staphylococcus aureus, the one that can cause staph infections. In a healthy person, S. epidermidis keeps S. aureus in check. But if the balance is upset, say by overusing antibacterial soap, the bad guys take over. In fact, some scientists think our obsession with being too clean may be hurting us. Kids who grow up on farms or with pets are exposed to more microbes and tend to have lower rates of asthma and allergies. It's called the hygiene hypothesis, the idea that our immune systems need early exposure to microbes to learn which ones are dangerous and which are friendly. Imagine your digestive tract as a zoo filled with strange creatures. Some bacteria in your gut can digest things you can't, like certain plant fibers. In return, they produce short-chain fatty acids that fuel your cells and reduce inflammation. In one study, scientists compared the gut microbes of Americans and rural Africans. The Americans had lower diversity, while the Africans, who ate more plants and fiber, had far more species in their microbiome. And they also had lower rates of colon cancer. The message is clear. What you eat feeds your bacteria, and your bacteria feed you. Every bite of food is a vote in an election happening inside your intestines. Let's talk about antibiotics, the miracle drugs that save lives by killing harmful bacteria. But here's the catch. Antibiotics don't discriminate. They kill the good bacteria too. After just 5 days of antibiotics, a person's gut microbiome can be permanently altered. Some species might never come back. This opens the door for antibiotic-resistant bacteria to move in. bacteria that don't respond to treatment. It's like bombing a city to get rid of a gang. You might remove the bad guys, but you also destroy the schools, hospitals, and friendly neighbours. This is why antibiotic resistance is a growing global crisis, and why doctors are being more cautious about prescribing them. Here's where things get really strange. In 2011, a team of researchers performed an experiment. They took gut bacteria from anxious mice and transplanted them into calm mice. The calm mice became anxious. Then they reversed it. Calm mice donated their gut bacteria to anxious mice, who unbelievably became calmer. What was happening? Turns out, the microbiome can affect brain chemistry. The bacteria produce compounds that travel through the bloodstream, affecting the brain. In some ways, they're sending chemical messages to your nervous system. Your gut microbiome might influence your risk of autism, anxiety, depression, and even Alzheimer's. It's a new frontier in medicine, and we're only beginning to understand it. When babies are born, they're nearly sterile until they pass through the birth canal. At that moment, they're bathed in the mother's bacteria, which begin colonizing their tiny bodies. Breast milk contains special sugars that babies can't even digest, but bacteria can. These sugars are essentially prebiotics, food specifically designed to feed good microbes in the baby's gut. This early colonization is critical. It trains the baby's immune system to recognize friend from foe. Some scientists now think that the rise in autoimmune diseases, like type 1 diabetes, Crohn's, and multiple sclerosis, may be linked to disruptions in this early microbial colonization. So what does this mean for you? It means you're not just an individual. You're a walking, talking, breathing ecosystem, a superorganism. Your decisions, what you eat, how you live, how much stress you experience, all shape your microbial companions. You are part human, part colony. Your microbes help you digest, protect you from infection, regulate your mood, and even influence your behavior. When you eat junk food, your bacteria shift to favor sugar-loving species. When you eat fiber-rich foods, the community changes again. You're constantly negotiating a truce with the trillions inside you. Now that you know you're hosting this invisible society, how can you keep it healthy? Eat more fiber. Whole grains, legumes, vegetables, and fruits. Feed beneficial gut bacteria. Avoid unnecessary antibiotics. Take them only when prescribed and finish the full course. Diversify your diet. A diverse diet equals a diverse microbiome, which means more resilience. Avoid over-sanitizing. Let kids play in the dirt. Don't obsess over antibacterial products. Consider fermented foods. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, all contain live bacteria that may help maintain microbial balance. I'll leave you with this thought. Every time you look in the mirror, you see a person, a face, a name, a history. But you're also looking at a planet teeming with life. Trillions of invisible organisms call you home. They are not invaders. They are your co-pilots, your builders, your silent partners in survival. And they've been with you since the very beginning. So the next time you feel alone, remember, you're anything but. You're never alone. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing content.